Another UFC card has ended, and this card, was actually a lot better than anyone expected it to be. We got a lot of finishes, we got a lot of cool fights, and we got some movement in some of the divisions. So, overall, not a horrible card, but let's break down this fight from fight. First fight of the night, we had Tisha Pennington versus Luana Pinheiro. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I slept through this fight, and I didn't think you guys care. Tisha Pennington wins. I heard people say Luana Pinheiro could have won, but I really just don't care to go and rewatch it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's just, I'm going to take the judges' benefit of the doubt here, and I'm going to say Tisha Pennington probably did win. Then we had Hung Sung Park gets the submission over Carlos Hernandez. Hung Sung Park is primarily a boxer, so to submit a guy like Carlos Hernandez, who I don't even think Ray Tatsuro couldn't sub him. Tatsuro Taira had to knock him out. But Nascimento submitted him. But he's like a tricky customer sometimes. So, that's a pretty good win for Hung Sung Park. But anyway, let's also talk about Denise Gomez versus Elise Reed. Denise Gomez knocks Elise Reed out. How I expected. This fight night card was one of the most predictable cards I've ever watched in my life. Every single fight, bar two, went exactly how I thought they would go. And this fight was no exception. This fight went exactly how I thought. I thought Denise Gomez would bully Elise Reed and knock her out. And she did do that. So, great performance by Denise Gomez. Then we had Liana Santos versus Tainara Lisboa. Liana Santos, just stronger. I mean, Lisboa is a kickboxer. Don't let the submission over Jessica Rose Clark tell you otherwise. She is a kickboxer. Sort of expected Liana Santos would sort of dominate her in the ground, and she did so. And then she got an Americana, and then Michael Bisping said, it's not in, buddy. That was horrible. That sounded more like fucking Terrence and Phillip from South Park. I apologize. But, he was like, it's not in. Michael Bisping was like, it's not in. I should be able to do an English accent, My family's from... One half of my family's from England. But anyway, it's really bad. But, Bisping said she wouldn't get it, and then 5 seconds later, Lisboa tapped. So, yeah, proved her wrong. Apparently, this is the first Americana in women's mixed martial arts history in the UFC. That's very impressive. What a stat for Liana Santos. Then we had Yadaya Del Valel, I definitely butchered that again, versus Conor Matthews. He just dominates Conor Matthews. Conor Matthews is getting cut. He's absolutely cut. He's 7-4. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's out. All finishes. They're not keeping him. He is gone. But, poor guy, he didn't have an easy go of things. Well, actually, to be fair, Dennis Bazooka's not the greatest, toughest fight, so... but he did fight these up-and-coming guys, so, who knows, those guys could turn out to be really good. But Conor Matthews is probably getting cut, so, poor guy. Then we had Jared Gordon versus Thiago Moises. Great performance by Jared Gordon. He got cut open. I still don't know what with. There must be an elbow or something, because I generally don't know what Thiago Moises hit him with to make him bleed. But we did see Jared Gordon have a bit of blood on the face. But he gets a crazy KO on Thiago Moises, knocks him out with a big overhand, or a hook, and it was very similar to the Gilbert Burns Damian Maia KO, very similar to that. He's on a good run of things. If you look at it this way, beat Santos, should have beat Paddy. King Green, he was winning that fight before he got headbutted. Knocked out Mark Madsen, should have beat Nazareth. He should be on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight non-losing streak, because he technically he didn't do enough to beat King Green or anything like that, but he should actually be on a good streak right now, which is crazy when you think about it, when you put it that way. Jared Gordon's one of the most underrated guys. People think he's bad, but he's actually pretty good. He is actually a very good fighter. I feel like he goes under the radar a bit. He's sort of like a lightweight Bilal, just he has a bit more power than Bilal, trains with Bilal, friends with Bilal. Sort of looks like a half Jewish version of Bilal, but he actually is very decent. Jared Gordon's actually a very good fighter. So, I don't know. People underestimate him a lot. Look at how the fight with Paddy went. I know Paddy broke his foot in that fight and everything like that, but he looked very good. He was boxing him up. Did a lot better than Chandler did. Better than Tony Ferguson did. But, Jared Gordon, very underrated guy. Did good performance. And Thiago Moises, you can't really use the argument, we beat Thiago Moises. You can't really have that Thiago Moises hype anymore when you look at all his losses. First loss, Jason Knight. Oh my god, he lost to Jason Knight? What the fuck? Not a fight I ever thought would have happened. But anyway, lost to Benil Dariush, not a bad loss. Then lost to Damir Ismagulov, not a bad loss. Just got robbed. King Green, I'm pretty sure. Beat Hernandez, then to Islam Makhachev. Joel Alvarez. But he beat Costa, good win. Got ground and pounded by Benoit Saint Denis. And then lost to Ludovic Klein. But, I think we got to realize that, Thiago Moises isn't like that big win that anyone can use now that he's lost to all these guys. But Jared Gordon gets it done. Then we had Gabe Green versus Mateus Camilo. This was a fumble and a half from Camilo. Camilo is easily winning this fight. Goes for a triangle, throws himself on bottom. It's almost slammed. Keeps holding on for dear life. He must have put everything into it. Gasses out. Gabe Green takes his back and submits him. He just looked like as soon as he couldn't get the submission, he quit. He was in top mount. He was on top of him. He could have just stayed there, rounded out for the rest of the round, and he could have got his hand raised that way. But instead, he wanted to make things a little harder for himself for whatever reason. Not quite sure why. Very silly when you think about it that way. He really could have won this fight, but instead, he gets gassed out and loses his UFC debut. What an unfortunate case for Camilo. But great for Gabe Green, who looked very in shape for 155. He looked like a ball at 170. He actually looks in very good shape, and he could still take punches. I thought he was going to lose a lot of durability, but he was actually still very durable at 155, which is pretty good for his prospects in the future. Then we had Melquizel Costa versus Julian Erosa. I fucking nailed that one there. Now, I got a lot of flack online because I thought that this was actually a lot closer than people were acting like. I could see the argument for Erosa round 2 and 3, but everyone sort of bit my head off for saying that, so maybe I'd have to rewatch the fight. But I thought the second round was close, and the third round was pretty clear to Erosa, but I don't know, a lot of people, I guess maybe the submission attempts swayed everyone towards Costa. But yeah, it was a good fight. This is a back and forth fight. I'm sure it's going to get fight of the night. It was crazy back and forth. Both both active guys, and now Costa's on a 4-fight winning streak. I want to say should be getting a ranked guy's next fight. Yeah, 4-fight winning streak. Gets Shaylan Norden Bikek, Andre Philly, Christian Rodriguez, Julian Erosa. Really, these are some good names. These are not bad names. The Philly fight performance is pretty impressive as well. Steve Garcia, just how good is Steve Garcia? He's probably got a run through Calvin Guitar, looking at how well his wins are aging. The guy's powerful. But anyway, Costa looked good. He should be getting a ranked opponent in the next fight. Maybe you could do him versus Yusuf Salal, something like that. I'm not sure. There's plenty of names you can give him, but crazy to see him turn it around. And he's also a Thiago Moises victim, so maybe Thiago Moises really is a good win. But then we had Sultan Ruzabayev versus Dustin Stolfus. And Sultan Ruzabayev gets the win, gets headbutted badly the first round, almost gets guillotined, survives it. And then, this fight was back and forth with some grappling. Nothing too crazy happened. I think Dustin Stolfus got his nose bashed in with an uppercut in the second or third round. But it was a lot of sprawling, a lot of brawling, and the Sultan Ruzabayev gets his hand raised. They gave it 30-27. I thought it was 29-28, but it was pretty damn close. It was a close. It was close, but clear for this fight. So Sultan Ruzabayev gets his hand raised. Then we have Marion Santos versus Sadiq Yusuf. One of the only other fights I got wrong. And mostly because Sadiq Yusuf just fights so scared, it seems like. He didn't throw much output. Marion Santos was built like Jamal Hill. I'm just going to put that out there. he looked like Jamal Hill out there. And I don't mean like he fought like Jamal Hill. I mean literally his build was like Jamal Hill. He had a real big beer belly, like pot belly on him for some reason. Which was, I don't know why Marion Santos is fighting at 155. Let's just talk about this real quick. The guy used to be a bantamweight. Why is he at 155? Like he's fought as high as 170 to be fair, but like, look, he was a bantamweight. He was a flyweight. The guy was a fucking flyweight. What the fuck? Why is this guy fighting at lightweight? You're not at the right weight class. Good lord. What an insane weight to fight at considering your size. But you know, whatever. He won. He beat Sadiq Youssef at 155. Not sure if this is like a permanent stay, if he's going to stay at 155 or go back down to 145. I mean, he looked good, but it's because Sadiq Youssef didn't really offer him much, you know. Sadiq Youssef, I thought, stole the first round, but it was close. Santos got the second clearly, and the third round he clearly won as well. Like, it was a very clear win to Santos. Shows how Sadiq Youssef has, like, fallen off a little bit. But yeah, he gets his hand raised. So, you know, congratulations to Marion Santos. He gets it done. Rebounds from that Francis Marshall robbery win. But that he got the robbery win. But, like, you know, I can't really see rebound from the loss considering he got the robbery. So, yeah, Santos, he looked good, but I think it was more Sadiq Youssef didn't look that great either. Then we had Michael Morales versus Gilbert Burns. This looked like Sergey Pavlovich versus Tai Tuivasa. I'm not going to lie to you. Or actually, no, probably it looked more like Michael Morales versus Curtis Blades. Because we did have Burns try and shoot, couldn't do anything with it. And then Morales sort of got like a Sergey Pavlovich type finish where he's just like unloading, and he's out. Like, it was very reminiscent of a Sergey Pavlovich domination that he used to do. That's at least how I've seen it. It looks very reminiscent, especially at the welterweight level. But Michael Morales gets his hand raised. Guy is massive for 170. This guy is not going to be fighting at 170 in like 2 years' time. This guy is 100% going to be a middleweight. I don't know when it will be, where he'll make his debut at middleweight, but it's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe he gets to a title shot. Who knows? But I don't know. The guy's young, but I think he's still going to get a bit bigger. Like, he is, 25, almost 26, so he's not going to get taller or anything like that, but he is going to, like, put on more weight. He's a big dude. Very big guy. I don't think he's 6 foot. I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". He's very fucking big. Very big guy. Burns, just got dominated, to be honest with you guys. Like, he didn't really have any success in this fight. But, like, to be fair, like, Michael Morales is a marauder. People forget, man. Knocked out Adam Fugit. But yeah, you know, good performance by Michael Morales. I mean, this was all predictable. Every fight beside... Oh, by the way, we gotta mention that we had a fucking on-day cancellation between Bellato and Paul Craig, which is very disappointing. I was very looking forward to that fight. But, you know, overall, good card. Very predictable, though. I know I got 2 fights wrong, but I didn't think, like... I thought Santos versus Youssef was very close, but... You know, only one that really, like, was surprising was Camilo versus Green, but... Yeah, whatever, like, predictable card. I woke up and I was like, oh, yep, all my picks were right, so that was good. Like, very predictable card, you know. This is what I said. I'm not going to pick a lot of underdogs because I really do just think all these favorites are going to win, and they did. They all did, except for Camilo. Camilo was the only underdog that won on the whole card. A lot of mismatches. And yeah, I guess Michael Morales deserved to be a minus 800 favorite. I mean, it was going to be a tough fight. He's got good takedown defense. He's long. He's powerful. Burns is older. You know, there's like a 13-year age difference. So, you know, it's to be expected. But yeah, great performance by Morales versus Leon Edwards next. That's what we need. We need Leon Edwards versus Michael Morales. The old guard of welterweight is done. The Gilbert Burns, the Colby Covington, the Leon Edwards, and perhaps even Kamaru Usman. I think that whole branch is done. I think those guys, I don't know if those guys are going to win any meaningful fights ever again in their career. And I say that as an Usman fan, as a Colby fan, a Burns fan, and a Leon hater, that, yeah, I really do think that's the case. I don't think these guys are going to really win much anymore moving forward. Could be wrong. Maybe you match them against each other. Maybe we get Burns versus Colby, or we get Leon versus Burns or something like that. And then we see one of them rebound, but I think we're going to see those guys will take some very painful losses if they keep fighting. But Burns, I do think they should do Burns versus Colby or Burns versus Burns versus Colby is the fight to make. It's a fight that we sort of wanted to see for a very long time. Might as well make it. Get one of these guys a win, and then you can feed them to the next hungry up and comer. As fucking awful as that sounds, that's probably what's going to happen, knowing the UFC. But it's crazy to see this because Burns was in this position many years ago, right? Like Burns was the hungry up and comer versus Tyron Woodley in 2020. 5 years. Took 5 years. He's 33, still not as young as Morales, but it was very similar to that. You get the young up and comer versus the aging former title contender / champion, and he gets destroyed. And now Burns is on the other side of it, just like in 10 years' time, we're probably going to see Michael Morales getting destroyed by some like up and coming like fucking phenom. Like it's just going to happen. That's just how the sport goes, and it's beautiful in a way when you think about it. It's the circle of the fighter's life. You're the hungry up and comer. You're destroying the veteran, and then one day you're the veteran getting destroyed by some 23-year-old. Like it's just how the sport works. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the UFC Fight Night: Morales versus Burns or Burns versus Morales. Let me know what you guys thought on Morales' performance. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, put on notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.